A psychiatrist nurse was working in a residential health facility. Early in her career, her patient was a mute, unable to say a single word, but they couldn't find the medical reason to why he was unable to speak. He was a normal person in his early life, and he could talk like everybody else. The only slight difference was his height, because he was 7 foot tall. He joined the military when he was 19, but someday he just vanished. He was declared owl, and eventually he was declared missing and dead. 10 years after his disappearance, a 7-foot man walked into the VA's emergency room where the nurse was working and said to the receptionist, "My name is Marion Desheen, and I've been dead for 10 years, and those were the lost words he spoke." He was covered with dust all over his body and was wearing the same clothes he was wearing when he was reported missing, despite the fact that his social security hadn't been used and there was no identification of him. They were able to identify him via fingerprint. They contacted his family to tell them the news, but they didn't want to hear it. They say they already grieved on the lost man, and he was no more, so they asked not to be called ever again. The man paced all day, moving his mouth, which looked like he is trying to talk, but no words would come out of his mouth. He had a habit of throwing his head back with his mouth wide open like he is laughing, but again you wouldn't hear anything. When the nurse would talk to him, he would listen attentively and do that thing where it looks like he's laughing. He was placed on different medications, but none of them seemed to work. They didn't even affect him both negatively and positively. Occupational therapy didn't work either, because unless he was told to stay still, he would start pacing again. On the nurse's last day of work, she saw Marion pacing in the parking lot, throwing his head back to laugh. Later, she wondered if she'd been dealing with a ghost. All these years later, she still don't know.